Who else fricks with customers who don't wear face masks? I drive a shuttle and when people get on and start bitching about masks I just tell them, well, I popped positive a couple days ago but I've got mine on so you should be okay. They mask up real quick XD. I learned at a young age that a very large portion of adults are selfish freaking idiots. Everything I've seen after that has further cemented this for me. Looks like we have non-retail workers and the reply is LOL. I work at Walgreens and there is nothing I hate more than a maskless customer asking for COVID tests. I was in Walgreens to buy some cough syrup and that aisle is right next to the pharmacy. This maskless woman comes and says I'm here for my COVID test. Like, come on, if you think you have COVID and you need to get tested, why come inside? I used to work for a retail store in the mall. Our owner and managers had a policy where we are allowed to give customers crap back. They didn't allow people to treat us like trash. I remember a customer came in yelling and screaming at me. I don't even know why. Just giving me crap. Maybe I was just there at the wrong time. Anyways, I told the customer to shut up and get out. Customer gets madder obviously. So I told him to shut the frick up and get out. Well, the owner of all the stores comes out of the back office, throwing the door wide open, knocking crap off the walls. I had no idea he was back there. It scared the crap out of me. He yells at the customer, I don't give a frick about a single word that comes out of your mouth. You heard the man. Get the frick out of my store or I'm going to toss you out myself. Mind you, the owner is built like a linebacker. Anyways, I wonder how things would be if they were still open today. They definitely had a zero tolerance bulls policy. They closed because there was such a niche market and the market faded after a couple of decades. I used to tell everyone in my department to go up to them and ask if they need a mask, so each maskless shopper was approached by like 15 people. I don't work retail, but when I go to Target or Kroger I'll take a free mask and walk around and place it in an unsuspecting, unmasked person's cart. I haven't been caught yet, but I have heard a couple of them yell in confusion. What the frick? I was working at Fred Meyer a couple months ago and they were so short-staffed that you couldn't really get in trouble for anything. Whenever someone without a mask approached me I would become visibly startled and back away from them and start running away from them if they asked me anything or approached me further. It was great. I'm a receptionist and I do the same at my super understaffed venue. Huge step back from the desk, I'd stuff awkwardly over the counter rather than hand it over, sanitizing my hands and everything they've touched while they're still there. I've lost 4 family members to COVID. I'm going to glean as much petty satisfaction from being obnoxious to anti-maskers as possible. I work at a garage and a dude came in without a mask for a motor day, offered him one and he refused. He told him in that case he was to wait outside. It takes around 45 minutes. He wasn't happy, but I just stared blankly at him until he left. Few minutes later it starts raining. You'll never guess who comes in and asks for a mask. Incompetent buttholes, the lot of them. Sorry, we ran out. Wait outside. Store policy is nobody is allowed in without a mask. I stand there, tell them they need a mask. If they argue I tell them I'll be calling security. If they continue to argue, security is called and they're escorted out. Thankfully my store isn't run by a bunch of anti-vax morons. On the opposite end, a week after mask mandates in 2020 my store director said, and I quote, "We can't do anything about it really anyway," when calling for manager assistance with a customer without a mask. Like, you're the store director, grow a spine and tell them to put the mask on or get the frick out. I work in drive-through community COVID testing with a 70% positive testing rate. I approve of this. Thank you. I got a deal with these buttholes who expose me every day, and it's always PPL who are clearly well off and can afford a mask. And now today I'm sick. They act like I asked to frick their spouse or something when I ask them to wear a mask or wear it properly. They deserve disrespect for their balls. The possibility of being downwind from your rancid trail of chili farts makes me happy to be wearing a N95 mask whenever I go out. When I have patients show up without one, claims to be exempt, or chin stripping it, I walk up to them and say as a heads up, this is a mixed waiting area, so you could be next to a COVID patient and we aren't allowed to tell you. The very quickly wear theirs properly after that. It's about respect in my opinion. People are making a choice which shows they do not respect the OP by their actions. Remember, before all of this started, it was always considered rude to cough on someone, and polite respectful to cover your mouth. Just common decency. I don't think anyone would argue with that. Then the whole mask thing became an us versus them thing and it hurt everyone. I remember when the pandemic started I was like, hey, at least it might become a common part of American culture, where everyone who gets sick just wears masks regardless of whether there's a pandemic. Oh, how naive I was. That sweet summer child had no idea what was coming. The number of people who come into the gas station I work who don't wear masks is astounding. I wear mine and I've had one older dude tell me that they don't work and I'd probably look prettier without the mustache. My mask has a purple mustache on it, and I had a lady in scrubs freak out because I had to touch her card to run it. We have older registers where the card reader is on the register itself and we don't even have chip readers, and she wasn't wearing one. One of my co-workers actually asked someone if they're so worried about it, why aren't they wearing a mask themselves? They called the next day and complained about him being discriminatory. In Germany you cannot enter a store without a mask. In my state, stores won't allow anything less than FFP2 masks. We need to wear masks at work, no matter what work it is, retail or not. You can't even get in any store, but essential stores, groceries, without being vaccinated. Some things like restaurants or museums even require vaccination attest and a mask. I do not envy you. I'm a pretty big boy, bald, goatee, black leather, yada yada yada. Contrary to my biker appearance, I'm a Canadian bleeding heart liberal. I don't work retail, but I get in the face of anti-maskers and stand up for retail employees who might not feel comfortable standing up to such while on duty. On behalf of this Canadian retail employee, thank you. Always. I had a lady come in a couple days ago that wouldn't wear one, even though she had it on chin diaper style. When I asked her to put it on correctly she was like, "You really think this will save you from the COVID?" And I said, "Absolutely it will," in a very loud but calm voice. As we finish the transaction she begins to take it off and my co-worker said, "Mom, you need to wear your mask properly throughout your visit in the store," which resulted in the anti-masker storming out swearing at us. To which I exclaimed, "Don't stop her." Co-worker's name. She's a rebel. Got a couple laughs from my manager and other co-workers. I work retail. Store policy is in the store you wear a mask. If you don't have one coming in, my entire staff have no problems kicking you out. And even better, I'm the store manager. So if I get called I just back up my staff and just say, if you don't have a mask don't come in. Work and retail in Norway. I stand 2 m away, yell to them to put on a mask, and then proceed. If they move closer without a mask, I move away. Continue until annoyed customer or leaves. If he refuses or start acting, I call security. I saw someone in a store wearing a mask around their neck and covering their under chin. So wearing the mask but not even over their face. I was standing out the store and could see them buying at a self-serve till. She looked up and I just mouthed, "What the frick?" staring at her mask. Once she exited the store she wore the mask correctly while walking down the street. What is wrong with people, seriously? At least she was at self-serve. Worked at Kroger for 3 years. Telling people that I wouldn't check them out if they weren't wearing a mask really forced me to start being more confident. That's about the only benefit I got from that job. Oh, and the way I probably boosted the heck out of my immune system by eating the daily meat there. I work at a nursing home and I sometimes have to screen people who come to the door. If I have to do a POC rapid COVID test on them and they're not wearing a mask, I will make them wait a really long time outside in the cold before telling them their test result is negative and they can come in. You are doing God's work. I coach triathlon and we do some stuff inside. Most families are good about masks, but there are a few anti-maskers who spread that to their children. So sad. My last week of retail, last May, was brilliant. We never had managers in our store for more than 2 hours a day if we were luck. So shift super like me had to take that responsibility on ourselves. And I look every mesh and no mask customer and just shut them down until they were peeing left. Made up for not getting my first day off. Since COVID started, till March of 2021. I missed towards the beginning of the pandemic where my local grocery had a little bouncer person for non-mask wearers. That only lasted for like 2 weeks though. Up here in Alaska, one of our local gun shops has been ordering mesh face masks as a dumb form of protest. I've taken to saying nice mask. Didn't know Victoria's Secret was making masks now. It usually get folks real mad. Bartender here. Anyone that makes even a peep about the mask mandate in a negative tone gets a heavily watered down drink or a beer that is half foam. These people are typically crappy tippers anyways. It's buttholes like this that have us in the throes of a pandemic still. Anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers can blow it out their butt. Frick 'em all. These people are typically crappy tippers anyways. I have a buddy that bartends in Chicago. When they finally eased up restrictions and allow people to go back out to drink and go to restaurants, I asked him if he was seeing better tips because people have been cooped up for so long. He told me, well, the people that are out drinking during a pandemic weren't good tippers to begin with. I work at a karaoke bar. If someone keeps forgetting their mask or is walking around without one, I have no issue calling them out and roasting them on the mic. Usually some variation of, hey, if you don't cover your face I'm going to frick your dad. Say hi to your new mommy. Now mommy says wear the fricking mask. I have a small side business with a storefront. The most satisfying thing ever was when a potential customer came in maskless, and when I asked him to put one on, we offer them to folks who don't have one. And he goes, no, you think you own this place? I said, actually I do. Please leave, then slammed the door behind him right when he got outside. I'm not pro-mask or otherwise, but our county mandated it at the time, so by law I have to enforce it or get fined. People tend to forget that when you step inside a business, you're technically on private property. You abide by their rules, not your own. Don't work in retail, but when shopping if I see another customer with no mask it's usually an OIC to get their attention, then point at my mask with the daffy hand gesture. So tired of this, I'm done being polite to the morons, and so should you. OIC really needs to become part of American English. I work in an electronics repair shop which serves a 50/50 split of people from in the city I work and live in that has an active mask mandate, and those from out of state, which don't. Things are complicated because the store is literally within 10-15 minutes of the border. On my entrance I have a sign that says no mask, no service, no exceptions, which has deterred many, but I still get some who try to argue. I've had a few people get pissy, but I just don't serve them. I rightfully so got into trouble a few days ago for telling a customer I will not compromise the health of my employees for your convenience. If you are unwilling to wear a mask you can either leave by your own effort, or I will have the police remove you for not abiding by the rules of this private property. Now that we are almost 2 years into this pandemic, I'm not playing around anymore. Good for you. If they can't read the sign, they need to get out of there. I stopped fricking with them. Almost lost my job cause shorty said I hit her, me, her, and the manager went to look at the cameras. If you don't wear a mask I won't help you at all. I will let the managers deal with it and treat you like the second class monkey you are. Frick these people. Same here. One day I was in a Hobby Lobby and there was a lady with her children behind her. They were all maskless. I had a N95 on. They were laughing and pointing at me for wearing a mask. I let out a ghastly fart. I mean, make a person wonder if I crap my pants. Kind of fart. They all stopped laughing and stared in horror. Then the smell hit them. They immediately started to cough and complain about the fart, and I simply stated, it doesn't smell as bad if you wear a mask, and walked away. It still makes me giggle to this day. No, I did not crap my pants, but my stomach was extremely upset. When it gets that upset the smells get horrendous. I'm not sorry for sharing that fart with those people, not even a little bit. Personally I would avoid doing this because I wouldn't want to deal with a maskless angry customer for any longer than I need to. I've got a baton in my back pocket. Come with me. I will beat somebody half to death and then cash out my GoFundMe check next week. Before I left retail, gone night to teaching, if someone came in without a mask I asked if they could read, to which pretty much all of them would angrily reply yes. And I would say clearly not, because it said on the door you just went through that you need a mask to enter the shop. My sister works in a grocery store, lesser known Midwest chain, as a cashier. She puts stuff like bread at the bottom of the bag with heavy crap on it for those people that aren't masked. Why is it so hard to wear a dang mask? Lots of upset little snowflakes in this thread. I ignore customers who don't wear masks. Can't be bothered to mask up for your 20 minutes shopping trip? Well, funny thing is, I can't be bothered to help you. Mask up and I'll happily raise my voice an octave and ask, how may I help you? If a customer expresses right-wing tendencies or minimizes COVID to me, I am going to do the absolute barest minimum I can get away with and won't correct any mistake I see them making that will cause them trouble later. I don't want to help these scumbags. In the South, Alabama specifically, if you fricked with anti-maskers, you'd have no time to do anything else. Most people do not wear one and laugh at you for wearing one. I've had people approach me to tell me that there's nothing to worry about and that I can take my mask off. Sure, okay. I don't go anywhere in public anymore because nobody wears masks in AZ. Back when it was mandated, and people still wouldn't wear them, I'd always talk crap to them. Nice mask. White trash mother was my go-to. Of course it's mostly dumb entitled white people acting like toddlers about this stuff. There are not even signs requiring masks at stores where I live. The majority of my community does not wear a mask. Even see our doctors, nurses, teachers maskless in stores, bar, school. I only wear a mask at work. Healthcare. Majority of PPL don't wear them, right? Don't wash cloth masks etc. I feel it's a moot point. Man, am I ever thankful to be living in Canada where we have mask mandates. People try to come in without masks. I refuse to serve them. Backed by policy. So simple. People still try to do it constantly, and it feels great to tell them to kick rocks. I was a customer in a grocery store doing this the other night to a douchebag. I made sure I blocked every aisle he came down. Had my earphones in so he thought I could not hear him. It was fun. I work for a large coffee chain and I purposefully decaf customers who come in with no mask. Honestly, I'm not sure if these people even notice when I do, but it's self-satisfaction. Not necessarily frick with them, but I was a cashier at a fast casual place for a while. If you had a mask, I'd forget to ring up some of your order. If you were maskless, I'd ring up every single bit of your order. I work in retail and personally I don't give a frick what the customer does. I'm not paid enough to act like I care if you get sick or not, or how you feel about the mask. I'm here to get my measly check and get out of here as soon as the clock hits my time to leave. I think the people that do care about getting sick themselves more than other people customers, which is still fair, as they are also only there to get a paycheck. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.